When you lose your mind, can you get rumpled with lint and crumpled old bus tickets in an unused pocket? Or when you lose your mind, you find it hard, like a tissue in a tumble dryer, just wired and useless to anyone from now on? Or when you lose your mind, can it be left behind on a train seat heading nowhere? Just brushed to a floor of metro papers and sandwich packs? Or when you lose your mind, can it run dry like an iPhone down the side of a sofa somewhere in open? Not minds like mine and yours, that pass into, under, and through one another. You see, when you and I lost our minds in Wiltshire, like all icons of queer spirit I want to do, our minds were children who didn't answer when their mum called them in for dinner. Our minds were hiding in tree houses, waiting for the night to lower itself like a body into a hot bath, so they could play pretend games about jungles and hoodlums under street lights. When we lost our minds, they found each other in the playground of life, by the monkey bars where lost children build dens to keep warm. Our lost minds set out on a voyage through neighbours' gardens with only wafer biscuits to snack on. Our lost minds giggled manically with excitement and held hands when the other got scared of the dark. Our lost minds only came back to fraught mothers when they had stories to tell of their adventures. So next time you lose your mind, remember that like other great minds, it's only playing like a brazen kid of the galaxy. Next time you lose your mind, remember it's only out gathering wood for the fire of your soul. Next time you lose your mind, well, mine will be waiting with a flashlight by the monkey bars, waiting to explore that curious night time some more. So good evening, my name is Luxx. Alright, go on then. Who's lost their mind before? Who's felt it? Yeah, that's what's up, that's what's up. That means you're all wise. That means you're really wise. That's very good, it's very good. Now, I do see it's the, what luck to lose your mind, you can go out and collect stories. And I did have a sneaky suspicion that here at this festival there may be many of us who had gone through this and had lost our minds, because it is something that happens when either you are engaging in the spiritual or engaging in queering your identity or whatever, because you've got to break things away, you've got to break away the noise to kind of see what's underneath, and that's a certain kind of breaking, a break down, break through, break up, whatever, and either you've been through it, you're going through it, or you may go through it again, and what luck to have the opportunity to expand. Now, I've been feeling that kind of confusion, that breaking of something that I've been coming across recently with my identity, and it's that of, so, let's see, I'm part Syrian, and so King Frankie Sinatra touched upon this, big up to that, and that is the crisis which is continuing to happen in the Middle East, particularly in Syria. And so, as a person not only of revolution, but also who contains the seed of Syria within them, it's been kind of an interesting thing to understand the role of my body in that revolution as opposed to the role of my spirit, and feeling like there was a role that I should encompass as woman, and that being that there is a seed within me. So I've been exploring that, and this poem is about that. She wears untold stories like a brace across her teeth, boldly walking to a new identity, leaving footstep trails so that others may see. But the rulers of history hover behind her and sweep. Thick hair in a bun that she wears at the front of her head, a dyed quiff, she quips, and tattoos the double Venus onto her neck. If you didn't know, now you do. If you didn't know, do I need to tell you? On a Wednesday morning, she goes to town and slips an eyeliner from Superdrug and lipstick down the sleeve of her coat. It's a dark, bloodshed Arabia red. Licks her lips like flames singeing cloth on the dead. She writes across her eyelids in a black, inky pen, "Oh, don't assume I'm white because I look like you." Privileged by Facebook, you haven't a clue how many bombs go off in the holes of her skin. When she's quiet outside, there is civil war within. The furnace of her ancestry is constantly burning inside, sending smoke signals from the pit of her stomach to the glint in her eyes. Some people were born to be weapons. They had no choice but to join the fight. She was a loaded double-barreled shotgun shooting bent into tide of white. Her ancestors speak to her at night. While Aleppo pine trees morph into the pines and wheeze of a new Holocaust, she hears whispers in her ear. Her role is to be mother, they say, and so she digs a hole in her small garden while the neighbors watch. And in it she lowers the lover she is so she can become the bearer she was not. Her hair comes down inside her face and she sways into the night. Pure breed elites smite her people and so she must create new life. She undresses into a chalk outline to climb into the bed of a Syrian man writing untold stories across his chest. The future of our country waits between your legs. To counter the silence that raised her, she gives birth to noise instead. Now I believe that these a lot of the traumas that we're going through right now, and a lot of the war and the bloodshed that we're going through is just a sign of the cycle of the time that we're in. Often we look way too closely at everything that's going on. If we take it actually to a massive wide, we see that this is a blip of human history. And we can measure the ages. Now, the way that I've seen it for a long time is in a masculine age, a feminine age, the masculine age, the feminine age, or however such. But also, if you want to take that away, you can also look at it as creation and destruction, which both exist inside everything and inside all there is. And there's such a holiness in destruction because I've got a friend who gave birth a couple of years ago, and she said to me, when I gave birth to life, I also gave birth to death because I knew that child would die as well. And that's the essence of everything, isn't it? Everything that we have, even the parts of ourselves that we let go of, everything is also going through destruction. I call it the living death of all things. And the book that I've read, a collection of poetry and essays called The Fourth Brain, I've got some with me, is dedicated to the collapse, okay? So the complete collapse. I think there are some paradigms out there in the world, not so much here, but out there in the world there's some paradigms that really need to completely collapse for us to renew and regenerate and create a fresh, right? And so this one is about that concept and a vision of that, and it's called Infinity is a Trap. And if you can hit the instrumental on that, please, my friend over at the sound desk, that'd be lovely. He said, do you recognize me? We sat together at the last ever fire of humanity, passing logs between us, keeping flames alive as the flame in us dies. It was an ice age, he says, an ice age, and his eyes look like melting caps, cracking under the whip of rays that we flick and splat across our backs. He said, we final fume, fed into one final fire, took our final breath, not in harmony, but discussion, words coagulating like we never could, retaining our doubt until the crackle cough came up, and the fight hissed from us into the sky, hot steam off the kettle, we are bubbles in the pot of time. Do you remember the big man who boys sticking to the thick man? Do swing past, rolling round. In this barrel of eternity, echoes abound as if to say, do you remember? Do you remember letting go?
Hey!
We pass logs around the fire, feeding flames, harvesting what would eat us whole. When there's nothing left to lose, the loss itself becomes the goal. Do you remember? So the one who's seen it is the one who was created, created, it wasn't created, but who offers us equality. It's the one who holds us all equally, and that is the who holds us all equally. Holds us, don't forget that, holds us. We get to sleep upon it tonight. You're holding us, she's holding you. And she's sitting all, and I do believe that this is the message that I received from her. Now, this is going to be my last piece, and I have, I've got some books for social interest. I'm going to hang around over by the yellow. It seems like a nice place to hang out. And I've also got t-shirts, they have sleeves. And it says, wake up. And the idea is this, people are always subliminally taking in messages. So if you're not taking anything, make it be wake up, 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 wake up. Right? And I think when the great mama wakes up, she's going to slap us all down. So let's hear for the voice of Earth, please, my friends. You turn it up a little bit. Have you heard the voice of Earth? Nurturing and soft, you imagine, don't you? Or flirtatious and alluring too, for Mama, our creator, makes sweet love first to give life later. Now I saw the woman channel our ancestors. That is, the women we came from. The women who wove, who talked amongst themselves, who cleaned and sewed, who were burnt alive if any strength was shown. Our sisters and I gathered in a field, saged clean for us to feel the depth of one another in the arms of our mother. Nature grew around us. That was trees and flowering buds, waved wet and wild, joining the symphony of God talk. That is talk that talks of reckoning, talk that talks of change, talk that talks of politics, but that takes away the blame. It's talk that talks of love and happens between hugs. Talk that talks great darkness into a new light. Talk that understands shadows cannot play during the night. So have you heard the voice of Earth? First lady in our ancestry line? I have. And she sounds not humble, not sweet, or soft, or sensual, but piercing and broken she screams. Her voice is yelling and crying. Her voice is tired and afraid. Her voice shatters window panes. Souls rise to the eyes and limp out of their frame. The voice will wake you from your slumber. The voice will change your ways. But first you must hear her and know that once heard you will never be the same. There is a spider on the altar and fear in my sister's eyes. The music stops being music when the singing becomes a cry. I can't stop those screams. It's the scream of burning flesh. The scream of women raped and battered. The scream of childbirth and cot death. The scream of war, oil and money. The scream of gender hierarchy. The scream of black magic wailing for justice in a system where that isn't likely. It's the scream of dying breeds within this delicate balance of sublime. The scream of vulnerability finding voice through the heat of wine. The scream of traffic and trafficking. The scream of shame, bleach, sanitation and mutilation. It's the scream of dykes and activists starved of patriarchal appreciation, and the screaming won't stop. My milk curdles and my cauldron fires up. I laugh because sometimes laughter is all we've got. So, celebrate, the mother said. It came through the voice of Sharp, a young woman used as a channel for our lineage of pain to beg. Celebrate me, celebrate life, dance, hold each other and sing. Pain must stop here now, please, no more suffering. So, save your mother, save her in every move you make. Save her, my siblings, please save her. Who will hold you if she dies today?